feel like a slice of butter melting on top of a big old pile of flapjacks.
Play the victim and you will be the victim.
Very good, Frank. Very impressive. Ultimate punch!
What's up?
What's up?
Oh! You hit the soft part of my belly.
You just got killed by a Daewoo Lanos, motherfucker! How you like me now, huh? You are, because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Ask yourself, why has he got his hat pulled down like that? He's fuck ugly.
Frenches instead. Oh, yeah. Wow. I don't like this.
Power of Christ compels you!
Oh, does it? Does it compel me?
You look pretty.
What did you say?
I said you look shitty.
I offer you a nice egg in this trying time.
Yeah, he's got an egg, you might
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
A security guard we missed.
Usually tied up, seems very fat on a pension. No, this is something else.
Hello everyone. How's it going? Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, dang it, that vertical thing's the thing again. Just gonna hide that. How's it going? It is Thursday, it's a holiday, but I always do my rundown on Thursdays. I'm trying to get back in that schedule. There is some actual toy news. All of the other things aside. And I just finished watching Dave's holiday special, which is where all of his viewers, well, a lot of them, send in videos giving their best figures of the year. And that was a lot of fun. And it was cool to see a bunch of people that you see in the chats and all that stuff. So if you have the time after this live stream, obviously after this, go over to Displaying Model Behavior's channel, check out his holiday special, watch that, and be prepared to see some cool toys. Gaming Nerd, you are first. Welcome. It's good to see you. I saw your video. Speaking of people that sent videos to Dave, good to see you. Thomas goes nostalgic. Merry Chrysler. Merry Chrysler to you too. Yes, there's 18 people watching, but not everyone's in the chat yet, so we'll give you all time to populate. But yes, hello everyone. Can I sub? Depends if what your channel is and what you put out there, but I can always look it up and check it out. But yeah, it is the holidays, so I know there's probably going to be a lot of people busy doing holiday stuff, doing family stuff, but you know, it's still fun to hop on here and shoot the crap with people. And yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. First of all, just talk about what I got. The last 2 days I've been watching a lot of, I'm not really a Christmas person, but I don't know what it is. This year I got the little Christmas bug because I like solstice. I like all that stuff. And also my birthday is right before. Speaking of birthdays, Gaming Nerd, it was fun. I slept most of it, but that's what I needed. Birthday being right next to Christmas doesn't leave you in the best Christmas spirits, but I watched a lot of Christmas movies the last couple of days. I watched Home Alone, and of course I'd seen Home Alone, but I'd never seen Home Alone 2 all the way through. So I watched Home Alone 2 last night. That was fun, other than a specific cameo, which I think they should redact from the movie. No joke, but they should totally do that. And then I watched Bad Santa, which of course I've seen Bad Santa a million trillion times. And then I watched Bad Santa 2, and I had never seen Bad Santa 2, and I thought that was fun. It was unnecessary, obviously, but it was still a fun movie. And then today I got my girlfriend Hook for Christmas. She'd been asking, why don't we have Hook? Why don't we have Hook? And I don't know why we don't have Hook. So I bought her Hook for Christmas. We watched that. It was a lot of fun to go back and feel nostalgic and watch that Robin Williams movie. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. But it was kind of a light Christmas, and that was intentional. We had a lot of stuff we were trying to take care of financially, and we're mostly there. So we got a couple of things. She did order me Spider-Man 2099, but he's obviously not here yet. Otherwise, I would be working on that video. But that is coming. That is going to be members first. I'm 3 videos deep that I need to edit now, which is not usual for me, but I got behind doing my best of videos. If you haven't watched them yet, I did top 10 action figures yesterday. I did top 10 Marvel Legends the day before, top 5 worst Marvel Legends the same day. And then the 2 days before that, I did top 5 female Marvel Legends. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it for the lists, the top 5 lists and all that stuff. Yesterday I watched Last Christmas, the Amelia Clark. You want to know the crazy thing about Last Christmas? So the Wham song Last Christmas actually dethroned Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, on the Hot 100 this year for Christmas. So she got dethroned by Wham. So rest in peace, George Michael. I know Deadpool would be loving that. How's it going, Daniel? Hello, hello. Logic Blaster, thank you. Happy 2026 to you. It is right around the corner, surprisingly. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. But yeah, it's been a quiet holiday. And I appreciate that. But they did drop some toy news the last couple of days. So I'm not just coming in blind. I have a plan. I'm not numbering this because it's a holiday. I'm like, you don't have to tune in. It's not essential. It's just holiday special. Non-descriptive holiday special. So it's not any holiday in particular, whatever you celebrate. This is the live stream for that. So let me get into doing this here. Screen 2, allow. All right. So Toy Arc, my go-to for toy news, always, all the time. We can start at the bottom and then go up. I did see these the other day when I went live, and those are interesting. We already talked about those. We already talked about McFarlane. We talked about Bardock. But this thing, I don't collect hot toys. But this guy looks freaking crazy. Like I said, shout out to Toy Arc for the toy news up to the minute. Most of the time, they've got exactly what you're looking for. But we've got our first official, fully solicited Absolute Batman figure from Hot Toys. I don't collect Hot Toys. I won't collect Hot Toys, but they are fun to look at. And this guy is an absolute unit. Absolute Batman is a much larger than normal Batman. He's in a universe where I think Darkseid like did something or doesn't exist or something fucky happened, and all the superheroes' origins and their stories and all that stuff got messed up, and they're a lot more brutal, a lot more like violent than they normally would be. And this is that version of Batman, who's an absolute brute, an absolute monster. He's got spikes. He's got, I don't know, spines on his cape. It's a very cool look. I haven't read anything other than the first issue, but it is a very interesting concept. And it is also interesting to see Hot Toys be the first one out of the gate with the fully made prototype and solicitations, because I believe like InArt is making one. This design has grown on me. I'm still mixed on his logo. Yeah, it's definitely not a look for everyone, and he's like I said, definitely more brutal. This is cool. Batman with a scarf over his face, big hulking Batman. Usually when Batman looks like this big and burly, it's the Dark Knight Returns or something like that. So it's good to see a different version of Batman. He has an axe, and this is the Batman. This is the Batman that had a comic book recently where he went into a white supremacist group and just started going ham on them. And you love to see that. And anyone that's upset by that, well, I hate to break the news to you, but yeah. So this guy is cool in my book. If he ain't down with that, great looking Batman. He's very big. Look at those thighs. Those are like rivaling Chun-Li in the thigh size. Absolute Wonder Woman is absolutely cooler. I do like that look. It'll be great to see the Absolute figures rolling out slowly. I'm sure Hot Toys will do an Absolute Wonder Woman if they're doing this. I don't know what this pose is. This one looks a little goofy. It's like Santa Claus is coming to town, y'all, kicking down the doors. And he's also holding, is that a gun? He's holding some kind of gun. Whoa. Did we lose my imaging? What happened here? There we go. We're back. That was strange. But Hot Toys making a Batman figure that no one else has made yet. And look how big he is. I guess this is the Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight Returns one that I was talking about. So you can see he's big and bulky, but nothing compared to this guy. This guy does full body all day, every day. So pretty crazy to see that size comparison. That is a huge Batman, a huge freaking guy. A special edition exclusive. I'm guessing the cape is the special edition part, and the gun. That gun looks like a pea shooter compared to his hands and arms. So a very cool looking figure from Hot Toys. I am excited for people that want it. It looks very interesting. It looks very absolute. If that's the way you want to go with it with your collection, you wanna start building the absolute Batman collection. Well, your first dip is this Hot Toys Batman. So I don't know when the pre-orders drop. What does it say up here? Pre-orders available from Sideshow Collectibles. It's priced at $400, the special edition, and $385 for the standard. All right, if the standard is $15 less than the special edition, you may as well just get the special edition if you're looking for it. So it's up for pre-order now, I'm assuming. It's due for release between the end of 26 and early 2027. I'm sure on the Absolute Batman design, I much prefer Absolute Wonder Woman. She is really cool. I like the black and red look for her. It's a very good look for Wonder Woman. So there's our first bit, trickle of toy news that we got from. We got a big meaty piece of news up here that I can talk about for a while, but I want to look at some toys first. Most of these are toys I'm not going to end up getting, obviously, but this guy's cool. Malthus the Demon from the Conjuring movies. Sculpt is beautiful. Like, obviously, that's not my problem with NECA. If you want a nicely sculpted figure, NECA usually has that in spades. It's more so about the customer service, and it looks like I'm sure it's not reused, but like they could totally have reused Xenomorph feet here and gotten away with it, just because of the type of textures that it has and all that stuff. But I'm seeing the pins and I'm like, okay, well, that's just NECA, because his legs have pins, arms don't because they're a single joint, but the legs are a single joint too. I don't know. If you're making a fully new figure, NECA, you need to make a fully new figure. You've been doing pinless stuff. That new Shredder is pinless. There's some new pinless turtle stuff, but it's usually about sculpt for NECA. Usually people aren't looking for articulation overall there, but this sculpt is, like I said, beautiful. If you like the Conjuring movies, I think they made the really tall, skinny dude with the red suit and the weird smile. I think they made one of those at some point. So I think there's a couple like Conjuring or Annabelle figures out there. I know there is an Annabelle, but they've never really done like the Conjuring proper. And this guy from the second movie, all I know is the Conjuring is pretty fun. Ed and Lorraine Warren were hacks, but the Conjuring movies are very fun. And this figure looks like it would be a very spooky display piece for a lot of people. There's Annabelle in the background right there. Okay, no, Malthus. Malthus is from Annabelle, right? The Crooked Man is his name. The tall, skinny guy. Yes, the Crooked Man. Annabelle Creation was a good movie. Annabelle wasn't, but Annabelle Creation was not, or was. That was the one where Ed and Lorraine's teenage daughter was in the house with their friend, and they unlocked the box, and all the demons started getting out. That was a fun movie. The first Annabelle, that was a non-start. But yeah, this guy is the demon that's haunting Annabelle, I believe, or something along those lines. I've only seen all those movies like once, except for the first Conjuring. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. We get a more scary head sculpt with the teeth and all that stuff. So he's definitely got a cool look for people that like the Conjuring or want Conjuring stuff in their collection. I saw people saying, oh, Ultimate Ed and Lorraine Warren. They're not going to make those. I guarantee you they're not going to make those. Spaded One McDysentery. Oi, what's all this then? It is a holiday special where we're looking at the toy news that is happening this week. Pretty light, but there was a pretty major shakeup from Playmates, so we're going to talk about that. I'm not a fan of Playmates. As y'all know, if you follow me, the Power Ranger stuff they're releasing is garbage. And they're one of those companies that gets by on, oh, we've been doing this for a long time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I do not like that mindset at all for toy companies. I think it'll make or break you. And losing licenses is the first indication of that, especially one that you've had for like 30 years. The Warrens were evil. Yeah, well, they're dead now. Like Lorraine died like what 6 or 7 years ago. But yeah, they were con artists. I mean, they didn't take money from people, but the misinformation and the like religious undertones and all that stuff that they put on the paranormal world and all that stuff is just like, do better, people. Do better. You could have been a detective or some shit with like the way that you talk. I don't know. Done something better. Controller Akimbo, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Kaye, motherfucker, because we all know Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We all know Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'm so glad you were all on board with what I just said. Oi, what's all this then? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you were talking about? Folks get odd about that kind of stuff. What kind of stuff? Before we get to the Playmates thing, because I was talking about it, we got a 2.0 of Kong. I do want a Godzilla. I do want a Kong. So this will be exciting. This looks cool. It looks like he's got butterfly joints. We've got an upper chest. I don't know if he's a lower chest peg, but he definitely has butterfly joints, right? Or am I just mistaken? He's got it. Okay. He definitely does. He has butterfly joints. It looks like we got some lower articulation there as well as the upper articulation. He's got his axe from the older movie. Oh yeah, the Warrens. Yeah. See, you see how short term my memory span is? It says I blame this thing. He looks to be really articulated. We got a thigh cut there. We've got double knees, single arm joints. But Haya, I have the Judge Dredd. That is my only experience with Haya toys, and I really like the Judge Dredd. He articulates well. I do want this Kong, this one specifically. I will be going for this one, the 2.0. I'm gonna bite the bullet in 2026. Be like, yes, I need a Godzilla. I need a Kong. And I really want these ones. I have a MonsterVerse Kong. He's terrible. From which brand? Is it Haya? Is it SH Monster Arts? Because this guy looks fantastic. I think he looks great. Look at that. Look at that smirky Kong head sculpt. That's great. And I still haven't seen the new Kong movie. I still have not seen New Empire, Godzilla X Kong. So, ooh. Monkey got nice faces. I'm pretty sure I have her pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store. That is one that I want to pick up for sure. I do want Hilder because I would love to make a custom of my Nord from Skyrim, get some soft goods, put it on there, and have my thick Skyrim Nord as an action figure, get a custom head sculpt of myself one day eventually. Not that I look like that, but I think it would be fun to make a custom. Maybe get 2 of them. Monster Arts. Yeah, that's what I hear. For the price that you're paying for SH Monster Arts, you're better off going with like a $50 or $60 Haya toys because apparently they got the goods when it comes to these giant monster figures. And like the butterfly joints, the extra articulation, this definitely makes this Kong look like the best Kong out there. So if you need a Kong, though, I highly suggest the Monster Arts. Godzilla. No, I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to stick under $100 for a brand new figure. I want brand new. I'm not going to go back anymore unless it's like a cheap figure from All Age or something. They want to really release that again with reissues, feel free, and people get it. But I think Monster Arts is just overpriced in general. But Haya, they're pretty reasonable, especially for what you're getting here. I didn't see the price on this yet, but you get 3 different head sculpts, 3 sets of hands, the axe, and is that Mecha Godzilla's head? Is that what that is? I'm not sure. I think it is. But regardless, how much is this guy? $58.99, $60 for this guy. That is a fantastic price for something that includes that much stuff. It's especially considering how much some of their like exquisite basic stuff is, or exquisite whatever, the 1/12 like human figures. Like they've got Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. They've got the Walking Dead stuff. They got Dread. Those are all like $90 to $100. So getting the big beefy monsters that SH Figure Arts just decides, oh yeah, $150 for like under 100. That's a steal. Under 75 even. So like, I want to pre-order this guy, and if they do a 2.0 Godzilla next year, I'm there. Those are the ones I'm going to get. I will be all in on that. What I'm not all in on is this repaint. I have the regular one pre-ordered, and I have the stupid bundle accessory pack with the coat and the extra head sculpts pre-ordered because this is $60 and does not include enough. And then to make it look like I understand it's comic shading, but that ain't gonna work on a display with all the other Hellboy stuff that they have coming. None of the other stuff is shaded like this. Maybe they'll make more exclusives, but for me, this is a very easy pass. And BBTS does a lot of these exclusives, which I don't hate because it doesn't make, there's no like driving factor for anyone to get it, but they do a lot of black and red stuff. Like I believe they did like a McFarlane red and black Superman, and now they have this Hellboy. They've done some other stuff in that color. Can't go wrong with high at 100. I'm just a sucker for that particular Godzilla. I get you. I totally get you. They always look terrible. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Not for this one. Not for this one. Happy Thursday. Welcome, Stu. Happy Thursday. Happy holidays. All that good stuff. Grey Knight's Queen of Shadows. I don't think I've seen that figure. My like most out of pocket figure that I got this year was the Romanki Gun Girl, which I like a lot. Great third party figure. But I did not get really anything too crazy this year as far as like third party unlicensed stuff. Although I would have liked to get more. That Desiree Hilder looks fantastic. I'm so jealous of anyone that has her. She looks amazing. I'm a sucker for a good female figure because we haven't had a lot, and then all of a sudden we're getting so many of them, and it's like, thank you, finally. But yeah, this is an easy pass for me and probably a lot of people. This cell shading doesn't look great, and especially for this with just the whole one side blacked out, it's like you can only stick him on a shelf in a corner to make it like you could replicate that doing that, or you could just not get this one. But he's there for people that want him for like probably over $60 because of the exclusive. $64.99. And what does he come with? That. I believe the boss fight one is like $60. So that is asking a lot for so little. I got that Romanki X Cal blank male model recently. Funniest opening I've ever experienced. I mean, doesn't it come with like a dick? Doesn't have a dick because the gun girl has, you know, everything sculpted underneath. And I was like, oh, that's here. Well, okay. All right, then. I did not show it on my video because I didn't want to lose my channel, but they sculpted that stuff. All right, now let me make sure there's nothing else before we talk about the big hot ticket item that's going to take up most of the rest of the stream. Because I don't know if I don't think there's anything else. Hiya Toys Mega Man, we talked about that last week. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I think we're going to go talk about the Playmates stuff now. I don't know if they're going to show the actual statement that was made. Where did it go? Here we go. But I did see... Okay, yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull this up because that's just the text point of it. But this is like the official notice that they put. This announcement is made by Playmate Toys Limited. Legal stuff, yada, yada, yada. The board of directors of the company wishes to inform the shareholders of the company and potential investors about latest business developments of the group. Pursuant to existing license agreement entered into between Viacom Media, Nickelodeon, who owns Ninja Turtles, as the licensor in Playmates International Company, a wholly owned subsidiary of the group, as the license was granted right to design, manufacture, distribute, and sell products of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Negotiations between the parties regarding the new license agreement have been ongoing since October of 2025. So they've been trying to work something out since October. But PICL has recently been formally notified by the licensor that the license agreement will not be renewed upon expiry on 31st of December 2026. Hydrate while you're reading. As a result, the rights of PICL to sell licensed products shall cease on 31st of December 2026. So one more year. While the right to dispose its inventories of the licensed product will cease 90 days thereafter pursuant to the license agreement. So 90 days after December 2026, all sale of all Playmates Ninja Turtle products have to cease. Regardless of what's left on shelves, regardless of what they have left behind in their warehouses and all that stuff, they have to stop selling Ninja Turtles. Based on the information of the company, the revenue from sales of the licensed products represented approximately 8, 13, 77, 40%, 30, 47% and 36% of the consolidated revenue of the group for the year ended 31st December 21 through these, and for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2025. So all those years are attributed to the sales market, I'm assuming. The board will assess the impact of non-renewal of the license agreement on the financial performance of the group and will update the shareholders as and when appropriate. Following, let me make sure that I can get all of this on here. Following the expiry of the license agreement, the group will continue, where appropriate, to identify and evaluate potential licensing opportunities that align with its strategic considerations, and will continue its efforts to develop and manage its existing product lines, including but not limited to Power Rangers, Monsterverse, and Wings. So what that statement is saying, that Playmates as a company will restructure, move things around to support the other toy lines, and have to back away from Ninja Turtles and try to compensate other places. That being said, they're listing Power Rangers first. Power Rangers does not owned by Playmates. That is a license agreement between Hasbro and Playmates. So if Hasbro decides to take Power Rangers away from Playmates based on how it's selling, which I'm assuming isn't very good. I know that there's a lack of Power Ranger stuff in the market, so there's a void there and people are just buying stuff. Oh, look, flip heads. But that's only going to last so long when we've seen the same stuff over and over and over. And not only that, the Playmates Power Rangers lines, it seems to be only Mighty Morphin Power Rangers so far, other than like some comic book spin-offs. We had the Godzilla X Power Rangers stuff. And it's interesting that they list Power Rangers first, because that means that is one of their primary focuses. And if they lose that, what's going to happen to Playmates? Do they really have their own toy lines? Because they've been licensing Ninja Turtles for the longest time. They've been the production of like the original Ninja Turtle toys that you had as a kid. Those were Playmates, I'm pretty sure. And they've just been re-releasing those over and over, slight updates, newer stuff, all that stuff. But they always go back to Ninja Turtles. That is their bread and butter. And as a company, that's got to be kind of scary to be like, oh man, we're losing our moneymaker. Shareholders and potential investors should exercise caution when dealing in the shares of the company. So they're warning people, don't start buying stuff, don't start selling stuff off just because of this news. Like, market's going to be volatile for Playmates. As the date hereof, the board of directors of the company comprise the following directors. I guess that's just who's in charge. So I think that was all of it, right? Yeah. Because they just summarized that. So yeah, that's a pretty crazy thing for Playmates to lose. You know what? Let's look up their website. What does their website look like currently? All right, so they don't have they don't have Ninja Turtles straight on the main page, which is interesting. Winx Club, another license. Power Rangers, there you go. Power Rangers. Wow, I'm not seeing any Ninja Turtles on here. It looks like they're trying to. No, it's on there. We've got three different Ninja Turtles. These are their brands that they have. Like this is the only thing that their website lists is their brands. Mechbots, I don't know what that is. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers specifically. It doesn't say Power Rangers. It says Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Well, Jada Toys take on TMNT figures. I think they announced. Yeah, they're going to make Invincible. It'd be cool to see them do their take on Jada. You know, Ninja Turtles goes to everyone anyway. Ninja Turtles is passed around like, you know, it comes with 4 dicks. That's insane. There was no preparing me for opening that box. Knew it was in it. Still laughed hysterically. I mean, I would have laughed too. The first thing I would have done is start sticking those dicks on all kinds of other figures with like sticky tack. I'm like, ha ha, ha ha. Give him one to She-Hulk. Ha ha. Or Titania or something. Just been like, yeah, there we go. That's what we all needed in our lives. But yeah, they've got three different versions of TMNT. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 brands on there, and then 3 Ninja Turtles spin-off brands or whatever they are. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then Mutant Mayhem, which is the current iteration of Turtles. Winx Club, which I'm assuming is a license. Monsterverse, which I know is a license. Power Rangers, which I know is a license. And I'm guessing maybe Stuntman Stu and Mechbots and Miraculous Ladybug are their own stuff. But if you're losing Ninja Turtles, that's gonna suck for the brand overall. That is a lot of their profit. I don't know. I mean, you have to be like inside the company to know why negotiations broke down. Why after so long Playmates is losing the what the hell is Stuntman Stu? We can find out. Watch all the Stuntman Stu episodes on YouTube. Apparently, it's a YouTube show. You know, it'd be cool if it was like Crash Test Dummies, where this guy crashed and like flew apart. Y'all remember those toys? You're a real one. I don't think those do. Well, the car explodes, so that's cool. Kind of like Crash Test Dummies, but I've never seen or heard of this before in my life. Not even once. And there's only 2 toys. Miraculous Ladybug is dolls. Okay, so this is a TV show, season 6. All their stuff is licensed. And their big market, okay, and that's the thing. Playmate's big market is not adult collectors, it's kids, obviously, because it says, hey kids, this is advertising kids safe listed. So if you're going on this website, looking at these toys, and you can even see the website. It's clean, it's legible, there's lots of big bubbles and all that stuff. Like, these are all products marketed to kids. And kids must not be buying Ninja Turtle stuff, which is, and then we got these Godzilla stuff. You know, I just don't know. I don't know what Playmates market is other than toys for kids. What the fuck? Hi, Max. I know, right? How dare they? No, it's fine. It's just like, if that's their whole market, they've got a really like not strong market. You know, it's video games, it's V-Bucks, it's all this other stuff. I know that kids still buy toys and they'll always buy toys, but like where the money is at for action figures and toys is adults, and Playmates just isn't there. And maybe that's why they're losing the Ninja Turtles license. Maybe Viacom, Nickelodeon, whoever is seeing this stuff like that's selling well, the collector's items, how much people are willing to pay for stuff, and being like, we need more expensive Ninja Turtles toys. I'm glad. It is good to see the younger generation play with toys and still get enjoyment out of them like we did as kids. And that's the thing, you know, back in the day, toys were meant to push, or cartoons and stuff were meant to push toys. And, you know, all the toys that Playmates has on their website are meant to do that. Like, they're all linked to a franchise or something. It's just most of them, you've got Power Rangers is a heavy hitter, Monsterverse is a heavy hitter, and of course Ninja Turtles is a heavy hitter. The rest of the stuff, it's like, I've never heard of it. I'm sure kids have heard of it, but you know, it's shaky for them. It's a big hit to them is where I'm really going with that. Got him addicted to TMNT already. Well, get him all the Playmates TMNT stuff while you can. Maybe it's because TMNT will literally get. Yeah, I was saying, like, TMNT is like the town bicycle. I went to Walmart recently and I saw some of the Power Ranger stuff, and I knew it was. I don't have a problem with making toys for kids, obviously. The thing that, whoa, I opened that pen today. God damn. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the rundown. We are just kidding. Hard reset there. Try explaining burning to Godzilla. Try explaining burning Godzilla to a 6-year-old. He's dying of radiation poisoning, son. I know, right? They have burning Godzilla though, and these are also aimed at kids, which is great. When I was a kid, I would have loved to have more Godzilla and King Kong stuff, and I don't see a problem with any of the stuff that they're making. It's just that most of it is subsidized by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Benjamin is indeed attacking me too. Still coming back. What's up, Matt with 2 T's? Welcome, welcome. We're just I'm currently choking on Benjamin and trying to talk through the Playmates news. Like, this is cool. Look at this. If I had something like this when I was a kid, it would have been over. All I got was those vinyl, barely articulated Godzilla figures, and that was like literally all they made. This is really cool. Still have not seen the movie, but you know they do make cool kids toys. They make kids toys for kids, and I feel like Viacom, like I said earlier, Viacom and Nickelodeon, with all the branding that they're doing, pushing TMNT literally everywhere. We've got a Magic the Gathering TMNT set coming out. They just want a piece of that cash from the adult collectors. And I think they really want to find one company to do a line where they're making the benefit of the profits rather than just licensing it off and getting the licensing deal and just, you know, taking a smaller chunk of the profits. I think they want to set up a big deal with a company that will produce characters from every nook and cranny in the same scale with the adult collectors in mind, which I feel like Hasbro should have done that. If they didn't want to produce Power Rangers toys for adults, they should have passed that off to someone who was willing to do it. Because what Playmates is doing with Power Rangers is marketing God, I'm really going to feel old, a 32-year-old TV show, season 1 through 3, or 1 through 4, from the 90s. So 4 years of TV that these kids that they're marketing it towards weren't even alive for. 30 years out and trying to make money off of that. And it's like, you'd be better off. Well, you can't adapt Super Sentai anymore because that got canceled too. And that's also Hasbro's fault. So it's just frustrating for me as a Power Rangers fan to have them making it. And it's frustrating for Playmates, I'm sure, to be losing their biggest license, the thing that they've had for the longest, when their only other heavy hitters as far as licensing go are King Kong and Power Rangers, which are both licensed from other toy companies. They don't have their own thing. And that's kind of scary for a toy company. If you've gotten by nowadays on just licensing and stuff, and you start to lose those licenses, like what's happening with McFarlane. He bet all of his money on his Batman multiverse line. I say that jokingly, but also in all seriousness. He bet all of his money on that. And he was just making stuff for cheap, pumping it out, 3 Batmans a wave, 2 random characters. And now that he's losing the license and he's made all that money on the cheap figures, he's upscaling the price, getting as much money as he can before he gets out of the deal, and making characters that people have always wanted from the line so that they have to give him the money. Otherwise, they're not going to complete that collection before it's over. So it's like, where do companies go from that? They have their moneymaker, they're printing their money, and then they lose it. And it's like, you have to have a backup plan. And I don't think that all these, no offense to kids and kids' toys, because that's what the toys were originally made for. There's no backup plan here. They were probably betting that they would have TMNT till the end of time. How long has Playmates? How long has Playmates had TMNT rights? Holy shit. Nearly 4 decades, y'all. Longer than I thought. Forced toy line launch in 1988. Holy shit. So they've owned this, not owned, but they've been making these figures since before I was born. And that's where their infrastructure is, y'all. Like that's gotta be scary for Playmates. Whoever's in charge, the CEO, they're gonna have to do a lot of shuffling and working stuff out. 38 years by the time the license ends. End date December 31st, 2026, with inventory clearance until March 31st, 2027. I have an idea on this. This remind me when I go live. I got you, Max. Playmates has been making TMNT since the real beginning, into an actual end of an era. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's for Playmates. They've got to be shaking in their boots. How do you pivot from having the license for 38 years And that's what you've produced consistently over and over. Those are the molds you've used to make your money, to print your money. Yeah, you do some updates here and there. You do some reissues, some remakes, whatever. But like primarily, they've been the ones when a TMNT movie or show comes out, they make the toys. Playmates make the toys. They get all the money off of that. And TMNT is an evergreen product. Like there has always been TMNT on TV. That version of TMNT always resonates with a certain group of people, whether it be kids, like younger kids, slightly older kids from 12 to 14 with like the 2012 series and, 2003 series, which is a lot darker. So you can skew a little bit older. There has always been some form of TNT. So there's always been money to be had with the companion line to that stuff. Like, yeah, you have the licensors with their own artistic swing on things, but Playmates was the ones making the shit that you saw on TV, the shit that you saw in the movies. And then other people got their swing eventually. But like that's a lot of revenue. That is a big chunk of making deals for new toy lines, for funding other toys that aren't doing as well to keep it rolling, to hope to get over the rough period, et cetera, stuff like that. So it's crazy. It's wild. Do I feel either which way about it other than it just being the end of an era, like Spaded One says? No, because I'm not a huge TMNT person. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have a turtle shelf, but like I'm not attached to Playmates and what they do with turtles. I just know that people think Playmates, they think Ninja Turtles, or they hear Playmates, they think Ninja Turtles. And that's always going to be the case. Whoever gets the license, I guarantee you, yes, they're going to be doing the cartoons and stuff, the Mutant Mayhem and all that stuff, whatever iteration of Turtles they're on when they get to it. But I'm sure they are going to have a consistent adult collector's line in their own, like, what's the word? Like, not itemized, artistic style to release all the characters collectively in that style. Like, Lightning Collection did their 1-to-1 representations. Or they could just go through the years and do those, adult grade versions of the 88 series, the 1990 movie, 2003, 2012. They could go through and do an adult collector's version, cheap adult collectors, like Marvel Legends, DC Universe, as Mattel is calling it, because they won't have the rights to DC Multiverse. They could really make a big chunk of money. And Playmates has just been doing the same thing over and over, re-releasing old molds, updating to the new shows and toys and all that stuff, but always going back to those original 1980 something molds, 1990 something molds, and re-releasing those figures and just kind of upgrading them over the years. What's going on, Manic Mike? Welcome. I needed to download. I have a couple of Diehards clip I should have downloaded. Welcome to the party, pal. But welcome to the party, pal, as Dave likes to say over on DMB. But 38 years. The toy line from Playmates holding the rights is older than I am, because I just turned 35. So I'm 3 years younger than the age of Playmates license holding, which is insane to think about. Like, someone who doesn't own a product making that same product for that long. They don't own TMNT. They've just been licensing it. They've just been making the toys, producing the toys. And I'm sure they had a pretty sweet deal. But when it comes to making money and sweet deals working for the licensor or licensee rather than the licensor more, they're going to start to get a little antsy and try to move other places. And the less you got to sweeten the pot, the less they want to hear you. So I'm sure they reached a breaking point here. And it's like, you need to make newer, better, more improved, more adult-focused figures to capture that market, is my headcanon of why something like this could possibly happen. Was 5 in 89. Playmates was my entire childhood. I get that. See, I had Toy Biz and Kenner in Playmates. I had Ninja Turtle stuff too. I was born in 1990. So Playmates is a kid's brand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a kid's brand. They only make kids' toys. Why put in the work when everyone just copies you? Yeah, I felt like they probably felt they were pretty safe with the license. But if they've been trying to work it out since October, I'm sure they've been sweating the last couple months, because that's a heavy blow. Playmates is 100% a brand focused to kids. Yeah, they do their anniversary figures and re-releases of the stuff from the 90s and all that stuff. But first and foremost, they want to get those cartoon characters from the new shows, the new movies, whatever, out there. And to have such, like, let's go back 38 years they've had the license, to have such obscure brands other than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We don't see any other branding for any other Power Rangers. And then TMNT and Godzilla and Kong. That's all you've got as far as like market saturation. This other stuff is, I'm sure there's kids that want it, but it's obscure. It's not mainstream. I mean, Winx Club I've heard of. I at least know Winx Club. But like Playmates has got to be like, what are we gonna do? Who are we talking to now? I feel like this was like a book line or something back in the day. Yeah, they had Star Trek. I remember they did all those like 5-inch Star Trek figures that grown men were collecting back in the day, and there's always been that market. It's just back then no one had the adult collector line toys. You had to go in all in on like the Playmates Ninja Turtles, the Star Trek Playmates line if you wanted some representation. Now we got options out the ass. So especially for Ninja Turtles. So if Playmates wanted to do anything they could to keep the line, they should have really started innovating and really started pushing it and trying to saturate the market as best as they could with like new, interesting stuff. But we got reissue after reissue and all this other stuff. Bucky O'Hare figures, yeah. They did a lot of stuff. NECA and most new brands have been killing it with the TMNT license. Yeah, that's the thing. But they have wings, Matt. They have wings. But yeah, that's Monster High, obviously. I've got a bunch back here. You can't see them. But that's my jam when it comes to dolls. I don't know anything about Winx Club. I know I've heard of it in passing. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 recognizable license. One that's going away and it's wiping out 3 other options because classic Ninja Turtles right here. We haven't even looked at this stuff yet. These are, oh God. See, I had these movie ones when I was a kid, but they were not painted like this. They looked better when I was a kid. Geez, these are rough. What the hell? And then these are the old original molds from the 80s. So indeed they do. Indeed they do. And you know what? Some of these 1/6 figures that have molded and sculpted and stuff, and adults are playing with those, and not like the intended market. I mean, it is the intended market. Who are we kidding? But like they're playing with a doll. It's just essentially an adult oriented doll, and it's kind of weird sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time. But you know, that's there. And then you get the other ones, which are more fun in my opinion, like the Bratz dolls, the Monster High dolls, even Barbie. Malibu Stacy has a new hat. I'm in. You have to get all the new stuff. If you don't have all the new Barbie accessories, you're just not cool. You need the Dream House. You need the Pink Miata. You need all of it, okay? So this is this is the thing. Like, another toy company would have taken the 90s license that they have for the movies and done fully articulated, fully realized, like Mezco's done, like NECA's done, versions of those characters. Rather, Playmates wants to bank on nostalgia. And I feel like the nostalgia train is really running out at this point. Like, of course, we'll always have our franchises that we love and care about, but like looking at a new version of an old toy that you had when you were growing up, when there's better versions of that toy that look exactly like you saw on the screen or out there, that well is running dry, in my opinion. And that's what I've been saying about Playmates and Power Rangers the whole time. They're banking on nostalgia that isn't there anymore. We've had those flip head Power Rangers the last 30 years. One of the first toys that they made for Power Rangers in the 90s was the flip head Rangers. Now we've got the Bandai ones from the 90s. We've got the Hasbro ones from the last 10 years or so. And now we've got the Playmates ones that do the same exact thing as those other two in 2025 and onward. So it's like nostalgia does not go very far. And I don't see the Power Rangers license carrying Playmates if they're only going to count on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers while there's no new Power Rangers on TV. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. It sucks for Playmates that they're losing it, but at the same time, I understand why. I truly do understand why. When your offerings are solely aimed at kids, and kids do buy toys, but you hold these licenses, you've held them for 30 years, and you've refused to do anything new or crazier or like push the boundaries at all with it. That's not what people want to see now, especially when toys are going up in price and cost and all that stuff. I mean, do these look fun, decent? Yes, but I, as an adult, am not going to go out and get these, and that's what they're missing from Playmates. I'm not saying they need to stop making kids toys, but that's just what they're missing as a company. If it's broke, don't fix it mindset, and that's what it feels like, you know. I don't hate any of these. I actually have the Mutant Mayhem turtles in my diorama. They're in the pizza shop. Surprisingly, the turtles are in the pizza shop. Go figure. And then this is what, from the movie. Yeah, this is from the movie, which they're slightly better figures. These are the ones that I have, these 4 turtles, and that's it. But you know, I don't hate these. It's just there's no innovation. There's no distinguishing difference other than the art style from the design of these figures from the old ones from the 80s and 90s and onward, because it's always been the same thing with Playmates. And that is what you can't do anymore. Like, as much as I bag on Hasbro, at least they try new things. They make, you know, their normal reuse body figures, but then they make a figure like Shumagoroth, who is an absolute unit, banger of a release, juggernaut, humongous, great, awesome figure. They're made to pre-order stuff, you know, and they also still do the kids' toy line stuff. So I can give Hasbro credit where it's due. The whole time they were producing adult Power Rangers, they were making Power Rangers for kids. The whole time they've been doing adult Marvel toys, they've been doing kids Marvel toys, etc., etc. You know. See you later, Max. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you. Merry holidays. Happy Festivus, Yule, Solstice, all that good stuff. I'm for third party. I am, as long as they're like not copying people's work, like that toy company that released a figure of an artist rendition of a Marvel Rivals Daredevil and not giving credit, or you know, just don't copy other people's homework. Do your own thing. Do original. I don't care if someone's got an unlicensed toy out. I think that those make some of the better toys. But I do think that a company like a AAA toy company should be doing more overall. Like, Playmates is kid focused, but they could totally do an adult collectors TMNT line if they really put their head down and wanted to do it. It's too late now, but like, maybe that idea could have given them the license for another 3 or 4 years to get that ball rolling and see where it brought them. But you know, that's not going to happen anymore because Playmates is going to lose the license for Ninja Turtles. So, and then they've got this stuff to make up the difference, which in fact, when I was a kid, this would have been some cool shit. You got giant robots that are animals that have pilots in them and little animals. Absolutely. Hold all that in a bag of chips for me as a kid. Same with the dolls. Those have wings, they're shiny. I love that shit. Power Rangers when I was a kid, specifically this style of Power Rangers. Now I got my whole Lightning collection. I don't think I'll ever buy any more Power Rangers figures, just out of posterity and all that stuff. Except for maybe the Megazord. That thing looks cool. Especially at the price. It's like $20 a Zord. So that's not bad. But you know, that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't try anything new, when you don't innovate as a company. You don't want to be, there we go. When you don't innovate as a company, when you don't try to push the market, saturate it elsewhere other than just kids' toys, because, you know, kids will always buy toys, but now you got Fortnite, now you got iPads, now you got Roblox, all this other stuff that just occupies a lot of their brain space and a lot of their time, and they're just like, I'd rather be doing this rather than buying toys. And that's unfortunate because I grew up playing with toys. I love toys, and Playmates was a big part of that, obviously. Who knows if they'll be here in another 10 years. It is really sad to see that, but it's understandable. And I can't say that it wasn't coming, just like with McFarlane losing the multiverse license. That was something I saw coming because It'll only take you so far. It will only take you so far. Is there anything else? Oh, I saw this. This was, I didn't talk about this yet. So Todd is releasing this Spawn figure, Ultimate. Of course, it's the Elite Edition, so it's like $60+. I don't know. $60 for this. That cape looks kind of bad. You do get real chains. That's nice. It would have been nice if I would still have my Kickstarter Spawn if it was fully articulated. Regardless of how I feel about McFarlane stuff, if I had had a fully articulated, like twisted position Spawn where you still had to put him back to a certain pose for him to look normal because his abdomen was all twisted and his neck was turned weird. At least this one you can have standing static, or you can have him like in whatever pose that you can get a McFarlane figure into. But why are you charging $60 for it? Why are you charging $60 for it? Oh, this is absolute trash. It's also good if it's a good device. If it's broke, don't buy, or at least not at full price. Absolutely. And this is all stuff that was in the Kickstarter. Like, I mean, the necroplasm in the Kickstarter was actually transparent and not just like a blob of whatever that is. But he had that weird cape that was like articulated but plastic. So a cloth goods cape is definitely better, but you can see through this cape. Excuse me. Even in the promo shots, you can see through this cape. So you know that the price isn't going into improving the soft goods. And we know exactly how this figure is going to feel in hand. It's going to feel like a DC Multiverse with that kind of cheap rubbery plastic that is kind of loose, kind of flimsy, kind of brittle, depending on what the texture is and where it's located and all that stuff. Giant pins in the arms, humongous pins that are just an eyesore. Look, there's bad paint applications on the prototype. Go figure. I'm not saying that this figure shouldn't exist. I'm just saying that it shouldn't exist for $60. This should be like a $35 to $40 maximum price tag. Like, there's nothing too much extra here that's not included in their multiverse stuff, which shouldn't be $34 either. So the chain, you can buy yards of chain for like cents to the link. So not even to the link, to the foot. So I not impressed whatsoever. The cover art is nice. The box looks good. I'm not hating on that, but $60, I don't think so. I would love for Todd to release Lady Spawn. I have already one, but would like if they released another one. I would like for Todd to let other people make Spawn. I know it'll never happen, but I would like for him to let other people license out Spawn and make their own Spawn figure. Or even for a cool third-party company to make like a really good Spawn and just show Todd how you should make a Spawn figure. Because I don't hate Spawn. I don't hate Todd's artwork. I don't hate his creations. I just don't think he runs his toy company as well as he could. And I think that the choices that he makes, he should have people that tell him no sometimes. Be like, that's not a good idea, Todd. I feel like everybody is like, that's the best idea ever, Todd, because they'll get in trouble if they don't say it. So that's how I feel about the way that he makes his toys and runs McFarlane Toys. But that's just, my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I always try to put that after I give my hot take. Like, doesn't that cape just look cheap? I know it's like, yeah, he has a cape, but he doesn't have a hemmed cape. It's like some organic hell cape from the depths of Inferno or whatever. Like, it shouldn't look like pajama bottoms that were cut up or something like that. Like, that is not a $60 soft goods. Like, you could have gone with like a silk, like some kind of shiny or sheer material, something like that, some pleather, anything other than that. Like, that is the worst thing about this figure is the cape. The more I see it, the more I look at it, it's like, that bitch is ugly. Todd's basically an overgrown child. 100%. Temu Hell Cape. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't see $60 here. Oi. That Benjamin is making my mouth dry and it's tickling my throat and I'm all out of Mountain Dew. And it's also been an hour. So you know what that means? Let me get this out of here. I think we're going to wrap it up, y'all. It's also a holiday. I know there's probably other things that y'all got to be doing. People you got to hang out with, all that stuff. But I appreciate y'all spending this hour with me on a holiday. That's very nice. Make sure you smash the like button. Please check out my top 10 action figures of the year, my top 10 Marvel Legends of the year, my top 5 female Marvel Legends, and then my top 5 worst Marvel Legends. I do also have a top 5 Black series from the last 2 years, and then I have my worst toy companies of this year somewhere back. I have to do best toy companies. That's what I'm going to do next as far as like not a figure review. But I got some editing to do. I'm not going to do it today. So there are going to be some reviews. I've got Shumagoroth coming, Enchantress coming, Spider-Man 2099 coming, Iceman coming. So all those reviews will be members first, and then they will go up for everyone. Speaking of members first, Stu gifted another channel membership. I don't know who got it, but you know what?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Thank you, Stu. I appreciate you. And new channel member, welcome to the Rowdy Rascals. Now you're part of the cool kids. Yeah, I gotta drink water. We can't drink the water in our house, and I'm almost out of water bottles, so I'll have to go get some before I go to work tomorrow. So yeah, I definitely need to drink more water. I drank like 6 bottles today. It's just this one is super strong and it dries my mouth out. So check out those videos. Channel merch. You can buy a sweatshirt. It's very comfy. I wear them all the time. It's very soft. It's very large. I've got an XL on because I like oversized stuff. So if you want to rep the channel, it's perfect time for a cozy sweatshirt. Keep your head up, stay brave, be kind to your local LGBTQ community. If you're protesting, be extra super duper safe. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry Solstice, Merry Festivus, Merry Yule, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a good one. Good last week into 2026. Put those good vibrations out there. Hope for better. Hope for equality and health and help for everyone that needs it. And I love y'all. I will see you next time, and bye-bye.
My safe word will be whiskey.
Sorry, Rod, what was that?
Whiskey.
Your friend's wasted, Anakin.
Check this out!
Pork chop sandwiches.
Freaking pump! I've been drinking green tea all goddamn day!
Oh, man, he hit his ass with a parking cone. Man, nice.
God, I go to church every goddamn Sunday! You gonna bring the demons out of me?
No matter what you do, I will be proud of you, even if you receive a liberal arts degree. Baby time. It's baby time. It's wait, I wasn't finished.
All right, give him the stick. Don't give him the stick.
You know my dad?
Oh,
G.I. Joe! What the fuck? No, this is my hat now. This is totally my hat.